Good morning, everybody. Today we have part 3 of a series of presentations on our school and plans for our school. And we're talking about, overall, a new addition to our church. And believe it or not, 6 years ago, we actually started talking about hiring an architect to do this and start getting some conceptual plans. And the purpose of these presentations is that August 28th, we are actually going to have a business meeting here at the church, 6:30, it's a Friday, and we will be voting our first major decision on the new building project. So extremely important, we're having a series of little presentations to inform you sort of what's happening, what's been happening, and what's going on. So when you come to that meeting, you should be fully aware of finances and everything else that are needed to make this happen. So let me get my slides up here. Good, all right. Just a reminder, this is part 3. Part 1, we talked about just sort of the overall picture. We were going to be presenting information and a strong plea for you to come to that meeting. Last Sabbath we had part 2, and that was really about the history of our school. Told how it was a part of the largest Protestant school system in the world, and a lot of oversight and curriculum planning and things like that impacts and helps us have a quality program here at our school. And Brenda knows all too well all the help that she gets and the direction and things to make this really the best program that we have. Today, part 3, we're going to talk about some information on the actual plans for an addition. And this has come from fair amount of work. We actually had a building committee. Just want a big thanks. Tony Khalil chaired that. Tony we love because he has architectural professional experience and he's helped us interface with an architectural firm. The other people on the committee, Hillary Hall, Don Mapes, Matthew Bell, myself, Brad Merrills, and Pastor Mabio. So we've had, this group has been working over the past several years actually to come up with the things you're going to see today. And we will be voting on in part next on August 28th. So let me just dive in. This is the, it almost looks like a photograph, the quality is high enough, but this is the what the architect believes would be a good plan for us, and based on a lot of input from us. Just to remind you, we're standing off at the corner of the parking lot looking. This is the entryway, the covered walkway that we normally go in. And this addition would be right here between the activity center and the parking lot. So this is the proposed design. It would have the same peaked roof design to match, has these little flat areas on the side so that it integrates well with it. And it would be, it would add another classroom. This is a little closer view of the entryway. We've got some architect people here. If you look close, you might be able to guess who they are. No, they just put people in to make it look realistic. But the entrance to the school would be off the covered walkway, just to the right behind this bush, or you could continue back on the walkway and go into the church the way we normally do. All right? And I just forgot, I warned Robert, but then I forgot myself. I do have copies of this, so everybody can have their own copy to digest and review later on. Split those. The details, the same things that you're seeing here on the screen. If we proceed, if you're an architect, you like to take different views, and so I included this. And so this is if you looked at the new addition from 3 different directions. If you looked at it, the south elevation, south would be from the parking lot corner. If you looked at it, you would see this coming out toward us. This view would be from the west. If you looked at it from basically the new property side of our parking lot that we bought this from, look at the church from that end, you would see this. You know, we don't go out there and look at this end of the church, but this is the end of the church. You see the chimney, and then you would see this new addition sticking out. Here's the covered walkway still being present there as well. And if you flipped 180 degrees and looked at it from Abbott Road side, so when you look at this is the existing activity center, and then this would be the addition. See the peaked roof it matches the height of the activity center roof, so that would be sort of a T-shaped structure, and this would be the classroom that's being added. So just a little different view so you can see that, the plans. I didn't include this in the handout, but that's, gives you the views from 3 different angles. All right, so what really matters is what's inside, and this is, I'll show you a little closer view, but this is to help you set the stage. Drawings are a little bit hard for some people to understand. It's sort of like a little map. Let me get you calibrated. Up here at the top is our church parking lot. So if you were in the parking lot, you normally come in the covered walkway, you'd come right down here, go into our little entryway, the foyer's over here, the library, and the activity center over here. So this addition is between the activity center and the parking lot, so it sits right here, okay? Try to get you calibrated on what you're looking at there. If we zoom in and look at the actual classroom addition, this is where I think things get exciting. So again, this is from the parking lot. We'd walk in, there would be a door right here. You go into a vestibule area, and then there'd be a foyer area with places for kids to store their clothes and things, athletic equipment, things like that would be in this area. Below that, there would be 4 separate bathrooms, and also a mechanical room. We would have to increase the heating and cooling capacity of this addition, so that would be added in this mechanical room. And there'd be a large storage area for all the educational materials and things that need to be stored. The classroom itself would be right here. We did look at options for 2 classrooms, and the cost was getting pretty high, so at this point the recommendation from the architect and the building committee is a 1 classroom approach. This is shown with 16 seats. You could easily expand that and put 2 more rows of 4 on there, so that could go up to 24 students who could probably comfortably fit in that room. And there would be, this is very important, there is a door down here that actually would allow the students to access the activity center. So sometimes we have kids that need special tutoring or whatever, so they would still have access to the church facility, and the easy way would be through this door. And we could work on practicing music and various other things that we normally use other parts of the church for too, so that would still be allowed. And this door would get good access, so we wouldn't have to go back outside and come in the front door again for the kids. I think that was a wise plan. Now let me pause here for a moment. You have copies of this plan, and we've spent a reasonable amount of money getting to this point, but this is just sort of what I would call conceptual. This is what it could look like. And we're all a team here together. This is a church family. We want you to have a copy of these plans so you can look at that and say, oh, did you think about this? Would you like to add this or something? So we're open for input. Before we go to a next stage where we would start making detailed plans and spending a lot more money, now is the time to get our best ideas on the table. So some things are done here for good reasons, for regulations and things, but other things could be changed. For example, we probably can't have a regular kitchen in here. Just the regulatory requirements for having a kitchen and fire control systems and all that in a school is probably beyond what we want to deal with, but we can certainly have a refrigerator and microwaves, a few things like that. But if you've got some ideas, you'll say, hey man, why didn't you do this? Or why is this that way? Now is the time to speak up. So we're giving you copies so you can talk to Tony. Tony probably an ideal person as the chair of the building committee if you'd like to talk to him and ask him some questions or give some suggestions. This is a team project, not just a few people. This is our whole church working together to make this the best that we possibly can. So that's one of the reasons that you have copies to look at, and let's digest and improve this together. All right. And that's what I just said. Your input is desired and valued. I want to back up and just say, what are we doing overall here? This isn't just a school project. Yes, this is going to provide a dedicated classroom for our school. Today we're in sort of a temporary location. Brenda's done a fantastic job of creating a classroom environment, but sometimes we need to use some of that space. People can go in and use that space, or kids can go and mess things up. That's always possible. So having a dedicated classroom is very important because there's some permanency in that. You can set it up and it can be reproduced day by day and year to year. It's the beauty of this plan. It is attached to the church, so we get a lot of the benefits of the church facility, but it is separate from the church. If you looked at that, that building can be accessed and the church can be locked up. So the kids could just go into the church. For security, it's nice to have that building separately locked so that we can control who comes in and out of that, where the kids are, even though they're doing other things in the church. So it is a separate, classroom complex that is completely separate from the church, but we can still access some of the benefits of the space that we have here. And most importantly, it can be designed as a classroom. So it can have, the AV stuff can be set up correctly, the storage and all the things that go in a classroom, the things on the wall, the paintings on the wall, the visual aids that we use can all be permanently set up as a classroom rather than being sort of temporary. But that's not the end of the story, because right now, we don't talk about it, but we have lost a large chunk of the use of our activity center. If you look historically, every year we used to have evangelistic meetings in there with a very nice setting. Fellowship meals, we have them now, but they're sort of limited in capacity. Social events, we've had many events that used the whole facility before. We were not able to do those when the school is occupied. It's not that we don't want the school, but this plan is bringing back the church's activity center, restoring it to its intended original use, and we're also providing a classroom that would be separate and dedicated just to classroom use. So those are two very important points. It's not just a school project, it is bringing our activity center back to its original purpose. All right. That's all I've got. I just want to say thanks to God for our school. We have a tremendous program here. And I think an addition like this would be a huge plus for the quality and stability of our program. And just want each of you to feel a part of this project. That's why we're making these presentations. There will be a couple more. The next one, we're going to be talking about the financial needs to make this happen. They are not insignificant. I've heard people say, oh, well, it's not going to cost us anything, right, because we sold the old school. No, that's not true. We got some money from the old school, but there will be considerably more money that will be needed to build this addition. So it is not, we do not have the money on hand to do this project. And we'll be talking what will be needed at our next session, and then we'll have a fifth session where we'll talk about how we might approach fundraising. So stay tuned, those are coming in the future, but today we wanted you to see what the plan actually was, and I think you should be excited. So thanks everyone for your support and attention.